Hello friends, I am so glad you can be with us today because I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite all-time makeup items, eyeshadow palettes, and specifically going to be talking about my top 10 favorite all matte eyeshadow palettes. For those of us who are 50 or 60 or 70 or beyond, sometimes we prefer an all matte palette just because it doesn't highlight some of the more textured areas of our eyes. But like many of you, I love some shimmer too, which can be a lot of fun and which placed strategically can absolutely look beautiful on our eyes as well. But today, I'm going to focus just on all matte shadows. I'm so glad you can be with us, and if you're new to my channel, my name is Elise. I'm a professional working makeup artist whose passion is helping those of us who are 50 plus look on the outside how we feel on the inside so we can look and feel our confident best. So I create new videos every Thursday specifically for those of us with mature skin who are 50 plus. And I hope you'll become a subscriber to our family of subscribers. Would love that if you would. And also if you click the bell icon in addition to the subscriber button, you'll be notified when we produce new videos every Thursday. And I thank you so much in advance if you choose to do that. So let's dive in. We're going to focus on all matte eyeshadow palettes. And I'm going to cover a little bit of everything. We're going to cover, first of all, the all matte eyeshadow palettes that I use most consistently, which are really good quality and which I never have any problems with. I can always rely on them. And then I'm going to cover some more colorful eyeshadow palettes and also some drugstore palettes, and then a couple of others that I haven't actually tried, but which I've heard wonderful things about, and I hope to try them in the near future. I'm going to start off with one eyeshadow palette that's been around for a long time, and I rarely hear people talk about it, but it is so good. It is from IT Cosmetics. It's called Naturally Pretty, and by the way, IT Cosmetics, for those of you who don't know, stands for Innovative Technologies. It's available on their website. Ulta carries IT Cosmetics, and QVC also carries IT Cosmetics. What I love about this particular eyeshadow palette, and I'll try and put this in a way that the mirror isn't glaring too much, but as you can see, it's really a wide variety of neutrals. And it also has warm tones as well as cool tones. It has great pigmentation. It blends in so easily. If you're new to makeup or new to eyeshadow, this is one I highly recommend because you really can't go wrong on how easy it is to blend in this eyeshadow. One other thing I like about it, it has a pop of color. It's called Sunset. It's an orange color. And it really can add a beautiful touch of warmth to any eyeshadow look. There's also a beautiful midnight blue. And for those of you who have brown eyes, blue, especially a navy or midnight blue, can just make brown eyes pop and look beautiful. But if that seems a little too daring to go with blue eyeshadow, you can always use a blue eyeliner instead. And you can use the blue eyeshadow as eyeliner also. The second one I want to talk about is a smaller palette. This is from Clinique. I'm sorry, that's pretty shiny. I'm going to open it up so you can see it better. This is a palette that goes from cream color to dark brown, mainly cool tones. It's called Teddy Bear. I have used this so much, and I have used it when I've done makeup consultations on so many women because it's so versatile and it works on, I think, just about every skin tone. They're mainly cool and neutral tones in that, which is why I think it works so well. It provides great everyday wearable looks. You just can't go wrong with those cream color up to the deeper brown colors and everything in between, so you can sort of mix and match. The next eyeshadow palette I want to talk about is one that may not be as familiar to you, at least the brand, but it has quickly become a real go-to favorite for an awful lot of people, and especially a lot of makeup artists, because they have produced a whole range of palettes over the last few years. But the one that I want to talk about today is, as far as I know, their only all matte palette. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you've probably seen me talk about this. This is the brand called Juvia's Place. This is the Warrior 2 palette, and isn't it gorgeous packaging as well? I want to open this up, and I want to forewarn you that it has gotten a lot of love, so it is not in the best shape. It's very hard to keep these cardboard palettes clean as much as I'd like to. This is about the best I can do. But as you can see, that doesn't come with a mirror, but it does come with a range of shades from cream color to cool to warmer browns, also some blacks in there, a lighter and a deeper black, plus there are two orange shades, a lighter and a deeper shade, and also, I should say, one of those browns is a very burgundy red brown. So there's a really nice range of options in this particular eyeshadow palette. One of the things I love about it too is those pans are huge, and you will not quickly run out of eyeshadow. This may last me most of my lifetime. The other nice thing about Juvia's Place is it's sold at Ulta. It's also sold on their website, but they often have really amazing sales on their website. Their palettes are sort of in between drugstore price and expensive palette prices, but often you can get them for half price on their website. And the good news is Ulta didn't used to carry the all matte eyeshadow palette. At least the Ulta near me now carries the all matte eyeshadow palette. So hopefully it's available near you as well. But Juvia's Place is a brand I absolutely love. Great pigmentation, blends in so easily. It's a great eyeshadow palette for anyone, again, who's starting out and maybe doesn't feel as comfortable with eyeshadow as others who have been using eyeshadow for a longer period of time. Next, I want to talk about another eyeshadow palette. It's a 12-pan palette. This is a, whoops, let me see if I can get this so it doesn't glare quite as much. This is from a company called Viseart, and these palettes are quite pricey. These 12-pan palettes are $80. They come in a wide range of options. There is a neutral matte palette that basically can give you any neutral color look that you want. It's a 12-pan palette. It's also $80. It's available online. Sephora often carries Viseart, but there are a number of different online sites that carry it as well. This particular one that I have is, whoops, I'm sorry, it's glaring again. This is the Dark Mattes palette. They also make a warm matte palette that's all matte. They also make two all matte cool tone 12-pan palettes. So there's a huge range of options with Viseart. Now, this price point, I understand, is pretty steep, and they have started coming out with smaller palettes that are much more reasonably priced, and they have some gorgeous palettes in those smaller varieties. However, in the smaller varieties, pretty much there are shimmers mixed in with the matte colors. But one of the reasons I absolutely love Viseart is that you will not find a more blendable eyeshadow at all. It's amazing. They blend in seamlessly to each other. That isn't always the case with matte shadows, but these are amazing. And the range of colors, the pigmentation is amazing as well. And the number of all matte palette options is pretty incredible. I think more than I've seen in any other makeup line. The other one I want to share with you that's also a Viseart is one of their three, what they call their Grand Pro palettes. Now this was their first Grand Pro palette. As you can see, this is an amazing range of colors from light to dark on each horizontal row. And then each horizontal row has gradients of one particular tone of color, ranging from beiges to browns to red browns to purples to some blues. You can pretty well mix just about any color using this eyeshadow palette. It is all matte. But with the whites and the creams that you can mix with some of the deeper colors, it is gorgeous. And the deepest colors in this palette make amazing eyeliners as well. So highly recommend this palette. It is pricey. Originally, the price point was, I believe, $175. This was put out a few years ago. The price, at least on some sites, has come down a bit. I saw one site where it was priced at $150. They have come out with 2 additional Grand Pro palettes. The Grand Pro 2 palette is all different shimmer formulations. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. But if you're not comfortable with shimmers or glitters, that may be something you want to forego for the time being at least. They have also just come out with a Grand Pro 3 palette, which is their second large all matte palette. This one is very reasonably priced. In fact, I don't think it's still available on their website. I just checked it out. This is from a company called BH Cosmetics. This is called their Modern Mattes 28 color eyeshadow palette. And as you can see, there are a lot of neutral colors, but we also get some wonderful range of greens and blues, almost to a purple, down in that bottom row. Although it wasn't available on the BH Cosmetics site anymore that I could see, it is available through some other sites online. The one thing about this particular palette is that I love the colors, I love the variety, and I love the price point. It's very reasonable. I think I saw it priced on one site for $13, but the pigmentation isn't quite as strong, and it's not quite as easily blendable as some other palettes. However, BH Cosmetics makes a wide variety of different palettes. There are a couple of their palettes that I think are maybe 12 pan palettes that are absolutely gorgeous. They have some glitters and shimmers mixed in with them, but they do blend pretty easily. So it really depends on the palette in this particular brand, I think, but it really offers some incredible options. Going on to even more colorful palettes, these are ones I've been eyeing for probably over a year. I heard about this particular company. It's a UK company, and it's called Certify. And it produces some amazingly colorful, gorgeous palettes. And there were 2 all matte ones that I've just been lusting after and finally broke down and purchased these before the holidays. This is called the Affinity Palette, and oh my goodness, just look at these gorgeous colors. Just beautiful. 8 really wonderful pinks to lavenders to purples on the bottom, and then you can certainly see the range of yellows and oranges on top. It is gorgeous, and I've really been having a lot of fun playing with this palette. The only drawback of these kinds of palettes is that, as you could see, they're very colorful. But you do have to, if you want to mix darker tones in or lighter tones or have transition colors, you probably need to use another palette along with it to come up with a range of options for your eyes, from the neutral to the cream to the darkest. However, if you want to create rainbow looks with just this one palette, I've seen some absolutely gorgeous renditions of rainbow looks, especially some watercolor rainbow looks, which are absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have to try that one of these days and give that a shot. Second Certify palette that I got before the holidays was one called the Tropical Wonders palette. And as you can see, there's some amazing colors in here as well, more blues and greens than in the previous palette. There are some oranges, some warm colors, and there are some pinks and some lighter and some deeper pinks as well. But aren't those colors absolutely stunning? Now, as you notice, these palettes do not have mirrors in them. I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, mirrors are not a big deal because when I put on eyeshadow, I frankly have to use a magnifying mirror anyway. So the mirrors that come in palettes really aren't terribly useful to me anymore. Although I know for many people, that's a real plus to have a mirror in a palette. This is one that surprised me, quite honestly. Sometimes with drugstore palettes, you don't get as much pigmentation and sometimes they aren't as easy to blend, but that's not always the case. There are some really good, outstanding quality drugstore palettes. In fact, drugstore products in general have really upped their game in the last few years. But the interesting thing about drugstore, with some brands at least, is that the quality of the eyeshadow palette can vary tremendously even within the same brand. So you might go to one particular brand and try one eyeshadow palette you love, and the next one you buy maybe has a different formulation, is not as easy to blend or not as pigmented. It really does vary. So one thing you really want to look at are reviews of different palettes that you want to check out. Now this particular one I absolutely love. It is a drugstore brand. Whoops, let me see. There we go. e.l.f. And this is called Opposites Attract, and you can probably see why it's called Opposites Attract, because you have both cool shades and warm shades in this palette. It really is very blendable. It goes on very easily. There are a lot of wonderful neutral looks in this palette. There's also some lavender and purple and some sort of peachy tones and orange tones. So it's a real nice variety of colors that are very wearable for most people. There are also a couple palettes that I have not tried that I would love to try, but I've heard wonderful things about them. One company that makes those palettes is called Lorac. They make a number of different pro palettes, and I have heard that they make wonderfully blendable eyeshadows, gorgeous colors. So that's a brand that's certainly worth checking out. There's also a brand called Kat Von D. She makes an eyeshadow palette, and I want to make sure I get the name of this correctly. It's Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette. So it includes a lot of neutral from light to dark colors. I did notice on her website that it's now on sale, which may mean that it's going to be discontinued. So if you're interested in checking out, I would do it sooner rather than later. By the way, that is a more upscale brand, but I did want to mention it, as is the Lorac as well. But there's one other drugstore brand that I want to talk about that has made some really nice shadows, and that is Milani. Milani Most Loved Mattes, which so many people swear by. It's really a gorgeous array of neutral with a couple of pops of color in it as well. So that's one you may want to check out as well. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. And if you know of anyone else who'd like to learn more about various matte eyeshadow palettes, I hope you'll share this video with them. In the meantime, I hope you'll leave a comment in the comment section below. If you have a favorite all matte palette, please share it with us. For those of us who are matte lovers, we love to hear about more opportunities with great matte palettes. So please share that in the comments section below. We'd love to hear. Thanks so much for being with us. I so appreciate the gift of your time today, and I hope you stay happy and healthy and have a fabulous rest of your day.